So a few days ago, the Twitter account SlutWalkLA started following me. And I had already been made aware by several different sources that Hugo Schweitzer was on the steering committee of SlutWalkLA. So he's basically in a position of leadership of this event. Now, SlutWalkLA, their logo seems to be about slut shaming. It says stop slut shaming, and it's unfortunate because I was under the impression that Slutwalk got its start and was about victim blaming. But I think what's happened in the discourse around it and all of that, the whole spectacle it's become, is, again, that message has been lost. And it's resorted back to women and their behavior. Don't shame women about their behavior. Not, don't blame women for how they are victimized by men. I mean, it's easy, right? It's easy to just put the focus back on women. But anyway, now, I've known about Hugo for a while. I think it was last year, the whole feminist blogosphere blew up when women found out that Hugo had slept with his students. This guy is a pro-feminist male, he's kind of a liberal at heart, so he's, very tap dancey about certain issues, but this guy, would blog about feminism quite a bit, and various things. So to find that this guy, who's responsible for promoting feminism, especially to other males, had abused his power in the way he did, a lot of women freaked out. A lot of women called him a rapist. I can see that. I mean, it depends on the situation, but when you're a professor or a teacher and you sleep with a student, you really are putting the student in a situation that's coercive, whether they want it or not, and that needs to be recognized, and that's why it's not allowed in any decent university, because of the power dynamic. You have direct control over this person's grades, So, for somebody who teaches women's history and gender studies, to behave in such a way is fucking horrible. Fucking terrifying. And if you go to his Rate My Professors page, you will still see plenty of evidence that he plays with the hearts and minds of young women in his classes, young naive women. A lot of them boast about how hot he is or how great he is. A lot of the men complain about what a terrible professor he is and what a diva he is and how he plays favoritism with females. But there are, through all of these, many little cases of women complaining about how they had, Hugo had opened up a lot for them to kind of bring out, and they'd open themselves up to him, and he kind of just disappeared and left them to deal with all of it. So this guy is kind of a, one of those professors that has, cult-like students that just love him, and who, kind of fucks with his students a bit, whether he's sticking his dick in them or not. Besides the point. Now, Divinity 33372 has taken it upon herself to defend this man. And it's absurd. If you want Slutwalk, and if Hugo genuinely wants SlutWalkLA to be successful and to, be representative of what Slutwalk Toronto was about, he should pretty much resign from the steering committee. Because regardless of whether he regrets his behavior or not, his behavior is a huge part of the problem. And yeah, he just shouldn't be in a position of authority in this thing, and he shouldn't be leading or part of the leadership of it. I mean, he's, admitted openly to being someone who fucks his students. This whole slut walk thing it's a mess. And I guess, I've been critical of slut walk, but I want to say I don't oppose it. And I think it was started for the right reasons for the most part. And calling it slut walk doesn't bother me either. Where it became problematic and where it became a problem, not just problematic, a problem, was the discussion around reclaiming the word slut as empowering, or, using the slut to define ourselves as women, and also encouraging women to come to the protests dressed in their hooker and slut gear. That makes it a spectacle. And that's what causes the focus, especially in the media, to go on to women and how they dress and how they behave. And that's what causes these massive debates and fights between women in the public arena that shouldn't be happening, quite frankly. To be so freaking ugly. It's a spectacle, and it's taking away from what the message was supposed to be about, which was not blaming victims. Rape is about opportunity, especially in cases of just, some random person raping you. That's about opportunity. It doesn't matter who you are. It could be anyone. It could be any woman, Old women, ugly women, fat women. It has nothing to do with it. It has to do with you're a target. You're easy to get. So, yeah, the bashing the myth around how women dress is very important. Although it is a good idea to, be mindful that a lot of men think that you dressing a certain way is an open invitation to, get sexual with you. Is that on them? Yes, but you also have to acknowledge that that's the reality of the world we live in. So, the slut walk's happening in my town. I'm not going to be attending. I find a lot of just the footage of it and the spectacle has become way too just triggering for me as a survivor. And honestly, somebody who's just fought so hard to get women respected, it's aggravating to see women basically just, making these spectacles of themselves, like, sluts say yes, that kind of crap. It's aggravating, but I think it also reflects the pornographic culture we live in, quite frankly. There's desire, I think, amongst young women and amongst women of all ages, of all backgrounds, to do something about the violence that is still so prevalent against us. But the backlash against feminism has been so successful that now what's popular, instead of Take Back the Night marches, are slut walks that are being led by male predators. It's disturbing how far we have fallen off of the course that we were on. And yeah, Hugo Schweitzer reminds me of Woody Allen, only less talented. So, that's what this image is about. also another male predator, who may be a nice guy, may have regrets, whatever, but at the end of the day, there are consequences for your actions. And when you do something wrong, it kind of disqualifies you from leadership in certain things. And I think if you have a march that was supposed to be about ending victim blaming and being a place to support rape survivors, you probably shouldn't have a guy who has abused his power the way that Hugo has running it.